It was like, yeah, bro, one thing was I wasn't feeling it. I never felt that way before. I always get excited. And the other one, I'm trying to work out a new deal where I could work for the WWE and other places.
Yeah.
And it's like, brother, you got to decide what you want to do, bro. You know?
What's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Riding with Russo. I love these episodes, man. We just really give WWE some ideas, and we make them so apparent that if you see WWE do them, you know it's a Vince Russo, Dr. Chris Featherstone idea.
Yes,
so
yes.
WWE, you are welcome. So
yes,
absolutely. How you doing, Vince?
I am doing good, Chris. I wish you were doing a little better, man. You've endured a lot in the last couple of weeks, man. So I'm feeling for you, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's it's been a very, very interesting 2021, but you know, promising though, promising. But one thing that is promising is that could be promising is the future of Daniel Bryan. He's all about being a dad and a family man nowadays, and you could tell by just how he operates in the ring. You know what I mean? He just really seems like he's that guy who's just happy to be in the spot, don't mind putting people over. He did it with Cesaro, put him over a couple times to make him look good. And so there's some rumors that his contract may be up in September. And so we saw him in the main event, in the true main event of the second night main event, the ultimate main event, I guess you could say, of WrestleMania. And, you know, I'm still wondering what was the purpose of him being there. I like Daniel Bryan. I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan, but what do you think? What do you think? I know that a lot of people don't like triple threat main events. I ultimately it didn't really make too much of a difference, but it did make sense to kind of add an extra layer of putting Roman Reigns over. So for that sense, I'm okay with it.
I think, bro, my take on it, Chris, was when I saw they were adding Daniel Bryan into that match, my thought was they didn't want to beat Reigns or Edge. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it was Edge's first big match back. And I mean, how do you give him a loss? Mm-hmm. And then obviously you don't want to beat Roman Reigns. So they did the double pin, which, you know, really was who was on top of who first? Was it Edge on top?
Edge was on top of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. So like that was their way out of it. But you almost feel like he was sandwiched into that match, so they didn't have to beat either one of those guys. I read some very, very interesting comments, though, bro, where Daniel Bryan said, like, this was like the first time he was not excited going into the match. He was like, I wasn't feeling it. And he was like basically saying, I don't know if that's telling me something. Well, bro, I think that tells a lot. Like, if number one, you're not feeling it, and then you're going public with it, that tells a lot, man. Yeah. So those comments were really, really interesting after the match.
Especially how WWE vets everything that everybody does, you know, with interviews and social media. So, yeah, but Daniel Bryan's, for a number of years now, he's been that guy who hasn't been, you know, like walking on eggshells. Like he'll be very transparent about, especially when he was out out concussion doing the general manager thing. He would always talk about how he just wasn't a fan of that position. He just felt like he was just being, you know, placed somewhere, just kind of like, you know, as a way to say, okay, where you go, you're the general manager. He wasn't a fan of it. And so he's been open with that, and I appreciate that about him. So if, you know, rumored September, he's even talked about like he wouldn't mind exploring other options as far as wrestling and other promotions. Now,
bro, it's funny, Chris, because he made those comments back to back.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just went out there for the first time in my career. I wasn't feeling it. And then he was talking about, I'm trying to work out a deal where I could work with the WWE and other companies. It's like, Like, bro, what is it? Like, it was real. Like, bro, I don't want to say that. Listen, I like Daniel Bryan as a human being. You could tell he's one of the real ones.
Yeah.
But, bro, these were two statements that really contradicted each other. So, like, I'm wondering, bro, like, is this inner turmoil going on inside of him right now where he really doesn't know? But it was like, yeah, bro, one thing was I wasn't feeling it. I never felt that way before. I always get excited. And the other one, I'm trying to work out a new deal where I could work for the WWE and other places.
Yeah.
And like, brother, you got to decide what you want to do, bro. You know?
I agree. I think they struck pay dirt, a couple years ago when Kofi won back in 35 in New Jersey. And I was a big fan of at first I wasn't a fan of the Daniel Bryan heel turn because he turned right before Survivor Series of the year before. And he was able to go against Brock Lesnar and as a heel, though, and Brock was a heel too. So that was a bit odd. And so when they first did the heel turn on SmackDown, I was like, this is kind of weird. When they start doing the like super, friendly, like eco-friendly type of deal where they were doing, and he started getting Eric Rowan as like a muscle, I started to like that type of transition into it, and that really drew a whole lot of heat. And I always say, every good babyface needs a good heel, and the Kofi thing, I think it really worked because finally, WWE struck pay dirt with the Daniel Bryan thing, and it allowed Kofi Kingston to get even more support from the fans because people just hated Daniel Bryan. I think if it would have been kind of like a AJ Styles where it was still kind of like 50-50 cheering, I think that would have hurt Kofi. But since Daniel Bryan had so much heat on him, I think that really helped the KofiMania thing.
Bro, he was doing a fantastic time. You knew because of the level of writing, you knew a lot of it was coming from him because the rest of the writing on the show was horrible. And his stuff was good. You knew. Bro, I know Vince. I know Bruce. I know the plays. They're not capable of that content. I knew it was coming from him. But then, bro, maybe you have a little bit more insight into this than I do. It just disappeared.
Yeah.
We were back to the yes chance, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought that was working. Do you know what happened there?
From what I heard, it was just it was the Kofi thing. So like they wanted to get the heat for the sake of Kofi. And I know that, WWE is like, okay, well, once they start with Daniel Bryan, it was a project. And it was just a project. It was a successful project, but then they felt like him and the Rowan thing was getting a bit stale, and then they kind of broke up. And Rowan did the heel thing, and that's when it kind of branched out. And whenever WWE needs a good baby face to kind of carry the load a bit, that they throw Daniel Bryan in that spot, just like they did with WrestleMania. So Daniel Bryan is he's one of the only kind of steamboat style baby faces when he is a baby face. He's a true baby face. He's very lovable, very likable guy. And whenever they need that strong baby face to be infused, just like we saw, Daniel Bryan's usually the guy. They usually just they put him in that spot. So say his contract does expire, in a matter of 5 months in September. Where do you take him from here at this point? 5 months,
bro. I mean, bro, here's what I would do. And let's look at this realistically now. We all know about the health issues. We all know about the neck issues. Okay. And bro, I would kind of handle that as a shoot. And I would kind of handle that like, bro, still let him work the next 4 or 5 months, whatever. Let him work with whoever he wants to work with. Ask him, bro, who do you want to work? If he wants to work with AJ, then put him on Raw. Let him work with who he wants to work with. But, bro, I would have him I would have him have a losing record. Okay. But then, bro, I'll tell you what I would do. I don't know if this has ever been done before. And I don't know where we are at that point with the champions. But, bro, I would give him a 50-50 record. He's probably losing a little bit more than he's winning. And, he's winding down and, he's saying, I don't know how many matches I got left in me. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Then I would have him say, you know what? I've made a decision, but, I'm going to exit WWE out of respect for me. I just want that one more big match. I want that one more big match to be my last match. And, bro, if it's me and that one last match is a title match, bro, I'm putting him over.
Okay.
I'm putting him over and I'm having him relinquish the belt the next night. This guy deserves that. Chris, I got to tell you something, man. There aren't a lot of genuinely nice guys in the business. And that's why, to me, that would play into it with me a big deal, where this is one of the genuinely nice guys. This is the way the guy should go out. But see, what would absolutely suck, bro, is though you can't do that and have him come back next year.
Right.
I mean, that's got to be it. If he pulls a taker, it'll mean absolutely nothing.